Is the scientific community truly global?
Maftopia technology, science, breakthroughs, discoveries, news.
Did Russia just patent the wheel? Very important distinction. So not just the wheel, but the rotating wheel. Russia has secured a patent for a rotating space station module that would generate Earth-like gravity, apparently around 0.5 Gs. Surely there's prior art for that. I mean, was 2001 just never released in Russia or something? RSC Energia, part of Roscosmos, has obtained a Russian patent, so specifically a Russian patent, covering a specific space system with artificial gravity, because no one's thought of that. Often reported as RU-2846-902, i.e. a station or spacecraft concept that produces partial gravity by rotating habitable modules around a central axis. Yeah, definitely not been thought of before. This is different. This is different. The ISS is approaching its 2030 retirement. Although they keep saying that and then they keep it going. It's a cash cow, isn't it? It's a cash sink. You can shovel money into the sink, a cash hole, and it's also a cash cow. Russia's Energia Space Corporation has officially patented a design for a future orbitable station, unlike the static tubes of the ISS that look remarkably like the inside of free-falling aeroplanes. Dunno, just saying. This station features a central hub with expandable modules that rotate around an axis, also known as a wheel. The design aims to generate 0.5 Gs, roughly half of Earth's gravity. Right, by spinning a structure with a 40-metre radius at 5 revolutions per minute. Make it 10, make it 1 G, go the extra mile. It's a definitive step towards the rotating wheel stations that we see in 2001, other films, lots of books like 2001, well, most Golden Age sci-fi. Solving the problem of microgravity is the single biggest hurdle for long-term human spaceflight, aside from the massive, deadly solar radiation, solar storms. Zero G does kind of cause rapid muscle atrophy and bone density loss. It does kind of signal a further fracturing of the international space community, which is a shame. With Russia planning to leave the ISS by 2028 or 2030, albeit there's that 2030 alleged retirement of the ISS anyway, this patent does kind of suggest that they're pushing for an independent, nationally controlled deep space infrastructure rather than a collaborative one. Read that into it, I suppose, but then again, maybe they're just making public what they're currently researching. Either way, in fact, Russia's actual post-ISS priority is the Russian Orbital Station, ROS, so the Roscosmos ROS. Sometimes called the ROSS, Russian Orbital Station, I presume. The architecture for it is standard and non-rotating, similar to the ISS or Mir. Do you remember Mir? Those are the days. But there is scope for future expansion of the ROS, also known as the ROS. The rotating architecture is more of a long-term R&D concept, so potentially a future ROS module, the tail wagging the dog there, how's that going to go? And potentially for interplanetary missions. I mean, I think we're just into science fiction. This isn't science fiction meets science, this is just science fiction. Good to see, though, that this could be the start of a new golden age of science fiction, with rotating wheel-type space stations, artificial gravity and so on, all over again, but this time told through the medium of international patents. There's something of a geopolitical flavour to today's news roundup. I mean, hey, I just reports what I sees, So let's dive in. Ooh, the sun just came out. That's kind of nice. Winter in the UK, we take whatever we can get. Just as I started recording this, a fire engine actually just drove up, and they seem to have parked right outside my house, and they've left the engine running. I wonder if anyone would mind if I just nip down there and just switch the engine off. No one's there. They just left it there. I assume they're busy doing good fireman things. So anyway, we'll soldier on. Oh, that's a segue too. Just realised. This first story isn't exactly making our lives better one giant leap at a time, but it's worth covering, because it does represent the current state of robotics and the direction it's all clearly heading in, for better or worse. Chinese robotics contractor Ubitech has won a contract to supply a literal army of humanoid robots to the Chinese military. Ubtech's promotional video features a dramatic A-Team-style B-roll soundtrack, the sort of thing, with added sounds of jackboots marching, presumably to heighten our sense of unease while watching. Like that worked. Anyway, the video is clearly AI generated. Fool me once, you know what I mean? Which means that they probably haven't actually built their new model Army just yet. It'll be interesting to see if we actually get real footage of the product once it's delivered, and if it's this impressive. The lifelike robot, I suppose they are lifelike robots. The lifelike robot animation that they produced is clearly reminiscent of the bad Will Smith movie, I, Robot, based on the good Asimov stories, I, Robot, which featured a similar hall full of just kind of skinny looking white robots standing and just looking impassive and yet somehow terrifying. BYD mega factory, even bigger than San Francisco? This is the type of story that brings everything together. All the sciences, all the tech, apart from astronomy maybe, and archaeology, oceanography, quite a lot of them though. Chinese car manufacturer BYD, bring your own device? Kind of a cheap way to manufacture a car. Just bring your own and pay them for it. Yeah, nice. Chinese car manufacturer BYD is already constructing an alleged mega factory complex in Zhengzhou, Henan province, China, and apparently it's nearly done. Zhengzhou. The factory has already begun rolling out. Damn it, there's a helicopter going by now. Glad to say the fire engine has gone from outside. The factory has already begun rolling out next-gen batteries and the electric vehicles to put them in. I know, it's almost like an afterthought. As of now, right now, the construction is halfway completed and already productive. The other half of the factory should be ready and fully operational by early 2026, they say. Mind you, their progress since they began in 2023 has been absolutely astounding. It has been reported that the mega factory, when completed, will be larger than San Francisco in total area. Maybe the one in Spain? They didn't specify. But even if they mean the one in California, that one's just under 47 square miles. And the BYD mega factory will cover about 50 square miles. So yeah, bigger. Let's get some UK news now. Enough about China and their amazing achievements. So, meanwhile, in the UK, power outages on the Eurostar line left trains stranded for 10 hours and affected around 25,000 passengers and 30 trains between London, Paris, Brussels and Amsterdam. The trains are being towed by donkeys back to St Pancras station. Oh, and that was the Quickfire news roundup. Quick. Also, it's getting dark. It gets dark so early at the moment. I ought to do a feature on changing light in the seasons. I'm sure no one's really investigated that yet. That would be groundbreaking. So yeah, I might do that. I might need to switch a light on or something. Is that better? It's overexposed now. Got to sort it out. Thank you so much for watching. So did we answer today's question? Should the scientific community be a globally cooperative thing? Maybe it already is. We can see benefits, obviously. Pooling resources across nations so we can all share advances in particle physics experiments, fusion energy, anything that's ridiculously expensive, like long-term research and big infrastructure needed. It does raise the question of who pays for it all. Governments, private enterprise, billionaire philanthropists. Never trust a philanthropist, that's what I say. I mean, probably actually don't. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. There is a downside though. International science can get stuck in the mud. One true belief becomes dogma and cannot even be questioned anywhere. Anywhere you go. It's global. It's the globe. It's worldle. It's wordle. It's worldle. It's the world. On the other hand, say if the scientific community wasn't global, just for example, just hypothetically, if individual nations just went for it individually, then you would get competitive dynamics, a pushing ahead of progress, national prestige, advancing a nation's own infrastructure, quality of life, therefore the country's economy. So there is that. A bit like war, but without the actual fighting and killing and stuff. Just nations competing. In conclusion, dunno. There's more than one side to it, as it should be really. Life is messy, the world is messy. It's nothing to do with football. Thank you again for watching and for staying with it through that lengthy outro. Please do like and subscribe, much appreciated, and see you next time. Bye.